Hello everyone and welcome back to this Revit course. In these next tutorials we shall learn how to create layouts in Revit. However, I will split this topic into different videos. The first tutorial shall be about modeling columns and beams, which is this one. Then at a later stage after we shall handle different kinds of slabs, then footing. Then at a later stage we can go into the detailing. Without further ado, let's dive into this tutorial. Place the columns. You come here to the structure tab, select the structure column command. So when you click this, we are placing vertical columns. If you have an earlier version than 2024 that I'm using, this option for slanted column might not be available. The higher versions I think still have it. On the right here you have the multiple ways of placing the columns. At grids, you can, if you select this, I'll draw a selection box over the intersections of the grids. So what that does is it will place the columns at all intersections. Say I click this point, then hold down the mouse key and drag like this and then release. You see that it has placed columns all over. If I press finish, you can see that. Let me undo. Then here in the options bar we have rotation after placement command. I'll leave this unchecked. When you come here, you have an option for depth or height. If it is depth, you are drawing from this level going downwards. In other words, what you're selecting here should be a level below this level. Then if it, meaning it will be ground. If it is a height, it will be a level above this level. I'll leave it as depth, drawing from ground to first. So when you come here to the properties palette, I can edit by dropping down here and choosing whichever column I want. Under constraints, I like it to move with my grids. However, if at all I'm moving the grid, that's when the column will move along. But if I move the column, the grid will not move along. Let me show you. Let me click at an intersection here and here. What I mean is that if I get this grid and press my arrow on the keyboard to nudge it to the right, it moves, the grid moves along, sorry, the column moves along. But if I select the column and nudge it to the left, the grid is left behind. So that is the difference. It is the grid that moves the column. The column doesn't move the grid. Let me undo that. Then let's go back to our command. And here we have materials and finishes. You can edit this by selecting here. Notice where I clicked. Let me do that again. When you select here, there is this small button here, the one you click, not here, but here, the one with those three dots. Then here under the structure we have the cover, then this is volume and the rest. Then I had placed these two. For these others, I'll use this command at grid intersection and do like we had done before. Now after you've drawn, you have drawn your selection box like this, you can hold down the Ctrl key and draw another one. I'll hold down my Ctrl key and draw another selection box. Then I'll click finish. So that's how we place the columns. Now you could also alter the orientation as you are placing them. Let me show you here. See what see my column. If I click, when you press the space bar like that, it alters the axis where it will be drawn like that. So how about slanted columns? Come here to the column command, then choose slanted. You have an option here to select the first click and the second click. First click is ground floor. I want it to move from the ground to the first, like that. So this 3D snapping is a tool you can use when you're modeling in 3D. I'll illustrate that at a later stage. Select the two clicks, and when you come to drawing area, click the start point, meaning I'm clicking at the start point on the ground floor here. Then the end point will be at the first floor, like so. In this view, it is about 2.3, but this 3.6 is the length of the column, like an hypotenuse. I want to show this in elevation. Let me draw a section along here. Come here to this section tool, click it and specify 2 points like that. It cuts through this, then double click here. Let me remove this. Press OK, delete and press OK. I want to place beams on my layout. Come here to the structure tab, select the beam tool. Then the drawing tools are many. You can choose any of these. You can place it on wings. Then here on the options tab, we have the placement plane. This is very necessary. Then the structure usage, we shall leave it as that. 3D snapping if you are doing 3D. Then I want to bring your attention to this option, chain. Chain is when you want to draw it continuously. Then under here, you select the beam that you want. Let me say I want to select the concrete beam. It's prompting me to save. I think let me cancel this. If you come to edit type, you can duplicate or rename to suit your preferences. Let me say I want a beam that is not among these. And under families, we have only hollow sections, concrete beams, and U-beams. But I want a concrete beam. Let me duplicate this. Notice how I'm doing this. You duplicate, then give it a new name. Should be different from the existing name, like that. 500. Press OK. Then this name does not matter much, does not change anything. It's just for your organization. What matters is this dimension. So I'll change this to 250 and 500. Press OK. When it comes to these others, reference level, I'll change this to first floor, geometric positions. These are justifications in the Y and Z. I'll leave them the way they are. Then finish materials and finishes and covers. This is the same as what we discussed for columns. So here among the drawing options we have line, then curves, then spline, then thick lines, whichever suits your project. Now I'm going to illustrate a few of them. Here I need to select the start and end point of the beam. So I click here and the end of the beam, which is that. Notice that the command is still active because we checked the chain. If it wasn't checked, when I draw this, it exits the command, meaning I have to click that point again to continue, you get? But if it is chain, I don't have to do that. and always just continue. Let me draw another one here, and here. Then we shall use some of the tools we learned in the previous tutorial. Let's say I want to connect this beam to this beam. I use trim and extend this tool, or the shortcut is TR. So I'll use the shortcut instead. T, I press T on the keyboard, then R. Then select one of the members that I want to trim and extend, then the other one, like that. If at all I have undo. If at all I have this beam extended like this, and I use trim and extend to join this and this, it will cut off this side if I selected this and this. Then it will cut off this side if I selected this and this side. Let me illustrate that. TR, this and this. If I click here, this part will be deleted. If I click this side, this other part will be deleted. So if I click like that, that happens. When I undo and I repeat this and this other part is deleted. Let's also extend this to this other side. Of course, you can, after clicking, you can come here to the edge, to the end. That's one option, undo. Or you could use this tool that we learned in the previous tutorial, where you select the tool, click the reference, which is the center line, or this. Of course, if you click this edge, it will join, it will auto join. Then click the member you want to extend, which is this, like so. Then also, if I want to do that again for this beam, I'll click. Now this time I'm going to click the A to illustrate the auto join. Click that and that. See, it has cleaned up this joint, although this beam goes up to here. Then I want to illustrate also the split tool. I didn't cover this in the previous tutorial. This split element tool, it cuts the member into two parts. Let me remove this column, and I want this member to start from here, going this side. I can come here to split element. Shortcut is SL. Click that. Down here it says select an element to split. It is this. When you're clicking, of course, you select the exact point where you want it to be split. Of course, you can't see it, but there are two elements. When you hover over this and this, you see, and even click this and delete it. That's what the split tool does. I want to create another beam here. I want to bring your attention to another tool called Create Similar. Create Similar saves you from always going back up here. You select an element and right click and say Create Similar, or use the shortcut CS. So click the member you want to duplicate, then type on your keyboard CS. Then select the start point and the end point. Now I want to copy this member to here. So I'll after selecting it, I'll come here and edit and click this tool, the copy tool, select the start point and end point. I've duplicated it. Now what if I want to draw curved beam here? Let me illustrate that. I'll click this beam and say Create Similar, CS. Then come here and select one of these. Can be this, can be this. Choose what suits you. Now I want to draw a beam that just curves around here. So I'll come here to this command, then choose let me see, this center line and that point, then you select the center of the arc or the intermediate point, like that. Then I want to trim and extend this and this. TR. Select one entity, then select the other entity, like that. Then also I want to bring your attention to another tool called the fillet. Let me undo this. The fillet, when you select two members like this, sorry, if you select this member and attempt to duplicate it by saying create similar, instead of drawing this arc, you will actually use the fillet arc. Select two members that make a corner like this. You can see if I click to end the command, you can see the preview of the beam that will be drawn, like that. In the next tutorial, we shall learn how to place the floors. In the upcoming tutorials, we shall learn how to place the foundations. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next tutorial.